Hi there everybody, welcome back to my channel, Boomy Reactions. I am Boomy and welcome back my lovelies. Now today we're going to be making Brunswick stew, which is very exciting. So I had seen the Dolly Boys and Noah Sims trying some Brunswick stew when they were trying the all the barbecue foods. And I had never heard of it before. So this became like a point of interest. I'm really interested in what it is. Now a few of you got back to me and let me know what Brunswick stew actually is. And the wonderful Coach John has supplied me with a fantastic recipe. So we're going to be making that today. Coach John has also given me an awful lot of the ingredients that are going in it today. So massive, massive thank you to the darling Coach John. Thank you, my friend. Thank you so much. So come on, guys, come and join me. Check out what we're making today. Come on, come on. Right, okay, everybody. So just a quick introduction to all of the ingredients I'm going to be using today. So we have onion, we've got potatoes. Now I've got a mix of meats here. I don't know how traditional that is, but we are using shredded chicken and we are using shredded pork. Yeah, a bit adventurous there. Go for a mix of the two. So we've got chopped tomatoes, and we've got sweet corn. Now, it does normally call for frozen. I've got tinned because our frozen sweet corn is not very nice. It kind of tastes like plastic. We've got chicken broth here. We've got some butter beans, apple cider vinegar. We've got our spices and our seasonings. I'll talk to you a bit more about those in a second. We've got barbecue sauce, Worcestershire sauce, garlic, lazy garlic, admittedly, and some butter. And that is it for our ingredients list. So like I said, guys, I'm using a mix of two different meats in this stew today. So I've roasted up a chicken yesterday and I've got the shredded, mainly the breast meat there. And this recipe called for smoked pork. Now in the UK, if I was to get pulled pork, it doesn't specify whether it was smoked or not. And I didn't want to run the risk of kind of, mixing up anything and not getting a authentic flavor. So I smoked my own in my little Ninja smoker pizza oven. So my Ninja oven, it's not a proper smoker, it's a wood pellet smoker. So while it doesn't give it that smoke ring, it does inject that lovely smoky flavor into it. So I think it should be okay for this pork. Now this is the rub that I have used on this pork, sent by the lovely Coach John. So thank you again, my friend. So yes, that was what I used for this smoked pork. Okay, let's get started. So I'm chopping my white onion. I'd say it's kind of a medium to large. It probably could have done with being a little bit bigger, but I think it should be okay. Chop those ends off. Let's get that first layer off, which is always quite tough, isn't it, guys? I don't like that first layer. Saying that, if we're stewing it, it probably would have been fine. So remove the skin. And I'm going to be kind of rough chopping this onion. It doesn't need to be finely diced. But at the same time, I don't want massive chunks of it in there. I want it to disperse quite, evenly. Whoops. Trying to get away from me. Oh, it's quite a strong onion as well, guys. I'm feeling it in the eyes. Oh my gosh. It's that time of year. These white onions are very strong. If I'm crying, you know why. It's the onions. Just a quick message as well, guys. So from next Thursday, I'm not going to be in the UK. I am going abroad. I'm going to Egypt on a long-awaited holiday. So I will be around. This holiday, it was booked quite a while ago, about a year ago. And I obviously started the YouTube videos in about July time. So, it's not that it's in the way, but it's still there. So I'm going on holiday, on vacation, if you will. So yes, I won't be here for a week. but I will be around, guys, and I will be catching up on a lot of my correspondence. Busy, busy, busy. A massive thank you to all of our viewers, anyone who has taken the time out to comment on the videos, to like and subscribe and message me personally. A massive thank you to anyone on the Patreon. Thank you so much, guys. Yes, just a message to say, I will be around. I have videos, they're scheduled. There won't be a break in any of their content, but yes, I'm vacating. I am out of the country. Okay, guys, so I am going to add about 85 grams of butter to my wonderful cast iron Dutch oven. And then once that is melted, I'm going to add the onions to give them a little bit of a soften up. And then I'm going to add my seasoning. After the seasoning, I'm going to throw in the garlic. I don't want to add that too soon, otherwise you run the risk of it burning and catching. So yes, in goes the butter and the onions. Okay, in goes the butter. Let that melt in there. So I have been preheating my Dutch oven as well, just on a medium heat, nothing too hot there. So we'll let that melt. And guys, you know me, I'm British. I'm going to talk about the weather. How is the weather where you guys are? Let me know, because today in the UK, we are in the midst of Storm Amy, I think they've called this. So it's very windy. The weather is very miserable. It's very grey. Oh, it's just the wind. I believe it's absolutely battered Ireland already. And now we're getting the same storm. It's very miserable. Very grey, it's drizzly, it's raining, and it's so, so windy. So a few of you have got back to me and let me know what the weather is like over in the USA. Thank you for taking the time out to let me know. So Jeff, the weather looks amazing where you are. Look at those blue skies in those photos that you sent me. 69 degrees. So that is 25 degrees Celsius. Thank you for letting me know that, Jeff. So, oh gosh, what we wouldn't give for 25 degrees over here right now. Beautiful photos as well, by the way. Lovely clear skies. I'm very, very jealous. You don't want to see the skies now, guys. They're just overcast. It's grey, very miserable, like I've said. Right, okay, so now I'm going to add the onions. In we go in with the onions. Our butter is lovely and melted. Ooh, it smells very fragrant there as well. In we go. Give that a mix there. Oh, it smells amazing. Doesn't butter just make everything so much nicer? So much more rich and indulgent. Lovely. Now I'm going to go in with my seasonings. So here we are, guys. I don't know if you can see that there. So we've got a teaspoon and a half of salt. Now I don't have kosher salt here, so I've used sea salt. I hope that won't make that much of a difference. So we've got half a teaspoon of ground black pepper, yummy. Half a teaspoon of crushed chilies. So I know in the recipe it is red pepper flakes? Now I think the closest thing we can get here is chili flakes. Let me know, guys. And there's a weird one looking in there. So the recipe called for 2 fresh bay leaves. Now, normally I get my bay leaves from my dad. He's got a gorgeous bay tree, and I just haven't thought ahead to ask him. So I've got dried bay leaves. I think they're going to be stronger. So a good pinch of those are in here. So let's add these to the Dutch oven. Oh, I'm trying to escape there. Okay, so I've added my seasoning and giving that a good mix, and I'm just letting that onion cook in there, kind of sauteing them in that gorgeous butter. And already it smells amazing, guys. Okay, now I'm going to add my garlic. Right, admittedly, I've got a confession. I am being a little bit lazy today. So I do always have this in the cupboard. It's so, so handy to have. So this is garlic puree. I know it's the only thing I'm being lazy with. So I don't have garlic cloves, as you suggested, Coach John. I am so sorry. But yes, we're going in with this. So now we needed about 2 tablespoons. So I think I'm going to be, if I use the last of this, probably a little bit stingy with the garlic, but I'm going to taste test it later on. If it needs more garlic, I might add a little bit of garlic granules or garlic salt. So give that a good mix in there. We're only going to be cooking this for about a minute because we don't want that garlic catching. Ooh, smells delicious. There we go. Right, now I'm going in with the tomato puree. I think I forgot to mention in my list of ingredients, we've got tomato puree here. Now, Coach John tells me in his recipe, I need about 85 grams. This is a fair bit bigger, so I'm just going to use most of it, probably up until about here. We're going to give this a stir. I'm going to let it cook for about another 3 minutes. There we are. So we'll see it change colour now. Okay, so I've just taken that off the heat after about 3 minutes of cooking with the tomato puree in there, the tomato paste. So now I'm going to get peeling my potatoes. So yes, in this recipe from Coach John, the recipe stated that you needed, is it yucca potatoes? We don't get them in the UK as far as I'm aware. So I researched it a little bit. So the nearest thing that we can get in the UK is a type of potato called Maris Piper. Again, I don't know if they make the way across the pond. I don't know if you guys have Maris Piper potatoes, but in the UK, they are generally regarded as one of the better potatoes. You know, they're very versatile. They're like, they're nice and floury, but not too floury. They're a nice fluffy potato. You can pretty much do anything with them. They roast nicely. They make lovely chips, and they're just a nice all-around versatile potato. These have been rinsed. I am now chopping them. Now, when I'm chopping potatoes for a stew, I like to do a little bit of a variety of sizes. So I like there to still be quite nice little chunks of potato there in the stew. So they've got to be a fair size to withstand that much stewing. But I do also like to cut little bits of potato a lot more, like make them a lot smaller so that they completely disintegrate and really thicken that stew up. So I do a little bit of a variety of sizes there. So these are chopped and they're going to go straight into the Dutch oven. Right, we're back on the heat with the Dutch oven. Potatoes have been chopped and we are going to add these to the pan along with the corn, the butter beans, the chopped tomatoes and our chicken broth. Now, let's just add all of these. So this is our broth and our veggies. All in there. Give them a nice stir. And in with my tinned butter beans. So I know in Coach John's recipe, it does say frozen beans, but I couldn't get hold of them. So I think, you know, tinned butter beans are the next best thing, really. We have a lot of these in the UK. And again, the same for sweet corn. So, Coach John, I know you said ideally these should be cut from the fresh, from the fresh ear of corn. I couldn't get fresh corn and I didn't want to use frozen corn. And I'll tell you for why. Because at the minute, I don't know whether it's just a seasonal thing, but frozen corn at the moment tastes like plastic here. We can't seem to get a nice one. So I know this still tastes like sweet corn and it still tastes lovely. So drained tinned sweet corn, throw that in there. It's probably slightly less in this tin than you suggested in your recipe, Coach John, but not much less. So there we are. And we have a tin of chopped tomatoes. Now, again, I know the original recipe that you sent, it did say fire roasted chopped tomatoes. I could not get them over here at all. So we just have our regular chopped tomatoes. So that was all I had. So let's give that a stir and then we'll add our chicken broth. Right, lovely. Okay, now we're going to add our chicken broth. So, Coach John, you did recommend that I use this one, which was available in most Tesco stores, which is where I normally shop. So we're going in with that. However, I made the grave mistake of not looking at how much chicken stock I needed. So while I've got one, it's a very small amount compared to the 1.4 litres of chicken broth that I need. So I have had to make up another litre of chicken stock just using like a bouillon cube. So yes, going in there with the remaining chicken stock. Okay, so to make up the remaining amount of chicken stock that I needed for this recipe, I had to make up some chicken stock with just using generic bouillon cubes. I use OXO. That tends to be the leading brand here in the UK. We all love an OXO. So yes, that is my chicken stock that I have used. Give that a lovely stir. It's looking delicious already. Okay, so I'm bringing our stew up to a boil. We're nearly there, and then once it starts to boil, I'm going to bring that down to a medium heat, and I'm going to simmer the stew for, Coach John says, about 10 to 12 minutes until the potatoes are tender. And do you know what, guys? I've just noticed that I have left out our lovely thyme sprigs, so I'm going to pop them in now. How could I forget them? I love thyme as well. So yes, okay, so they are going to be simmering for about 12 minutes. Okay, everybody, our potatoes are ready. They are fork tender. So now I am going in with my chicken and my pulled pork. I think I forgot to mention how much meat there is. So there's about 3 cups of pulled pork here and about 2 cups of the chicken. So I'm going to add these to the Dutch oven now, along with a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce and half a cup of barbecue sauce. And my barbecue sauce that I have here is Sweet Baby Ray's that Coach John has sent me. Thank you, my friend. So I'm going to be adding those to the Dutch oven now. Here we go. Trying not to splash this hot stew on me. It's very saucy. Little bits at a time. Oh, get that lovely kind of sauce and fat at the bottom of there. Yummy. Teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. Liam Perrins, always leading brand here. Delicious. There is 1. And I'm using my lovely measurers. Can you see these? From Ginger. Thank you, babes. Thank you very much. So here's our half a cup. And we're going to swap hands. Oh, this barbecue sauce smells so, so nice. Very generous half a cup there, I think. And in we go. Now I'm going to get my finger in there, get a little bit messy just to make sure that all of that barbecue sauce is in that delicious stew. There we go. I'm going to, there you go. Yummy. So I'm going to give this a good mix in. Make sure everything is well mixed together. Oh, already we're getting quite the crowded pot here. I honestly thought because of how big this Dutch oven is, I was going to struggle to fill it, but this recipe is not struggling to fill it. Oh my gosh. Oh, guys, it smells amazing. Oh, this smells delicious. Right, after I've mixed this in, I'm going to turn the heat down. Oh no, the heat's already here. So I need to cook this on like a medium, low heat and let it simmer for another 10 to 12 minutes. And then I'll need to add my apple cider vinegar. And now, according to the recipe, at this point, it should be done. I'm going to check it after those 12 minutes. If it's okay, I might leave it to stew a little bit longer because I would like that potato well and truly broken up in that stew. So I'm going to check the moisture levels. I might need to add a little bit more water if I want it to stew for a bit longer. But I will check this in about 10 to 12 minutes. Okay, guys, it's been about 15 minutes. I'm going to try this stew. What I will say is, even though it hasn't been stewing for a long amount of time, it's thickened. It looks perfectly edible. So I'm going to give it a try. I think you could eat it like with this amount of stewing. I imagine it's nice. It looks lovely. So let's try it. It's going to be very hot. I wasn't sure how to feel about the sweet corn being in a stew. I don't know why. I've never had a stew where there have been beans and sweet corn in there. Oh, nearly knocked that over. But it's lovely. It's nice. It's fresh. It adds like a different dimension to the stew. Oh, that is delicious. So, I need that on a day like today, when the weather is so awful. I don't know if you can tell by my hair. I've been attacked by the wind outside. It's very cold. It's a very miserable autumn day. Autumn day, and not the good type of autumn day either, the bad type. A drizzly rain. It's horrible. So I need this today. Oh my gosh, that is the most hearty, warming stew. Now, I haven't tried a potato. So the only thing I will say is that while the potatoes in there, they're tender. I can break them up very easily with the fork. In any stew that I've had before that has had potato in it, it stews for quite a while and it breaks up that potato and it thickens, which is a lovely addition to the stew. So even though this is lovely as it is now, and I could happily tuck into this, but I'm interested in seeing if I leave it to stew for a little bit longer. I want those potatoes nice and broken up. So I'm going to give it a little bit longer. But with how thick this is at the moment, I'm going to add about, I'm probably going to try and top it up to about an inch away from the top of the Dutch oven. And I'll let it absorb and cook that water away. So I will check it every 20 minutes to make sure it's not over stewing. But I'm probably going to leave it, I'd say about an hour. So I'll come back in an hour and I'll let you know what that stewing has done to Brunswick stew. Like I say, this is lovely as it is. I just like those potatoes to be a little bit more broken down. So I'll be right back. Give me an hour. Okay, everybody, so while my Brunswick stew is stewing, I've decided I would like to make a cornbread to go alongside the stew. Now, I am using a packet mix. I am using this that was sent to me by the lovely Coach John. Again, thank you. So I will be making this today. Like I said, I've never tried authentic cornbread, so this will be the first time, my first experience trying it, which is very exciting. So, as per the packet instructions, I'm going to go in with my wet ingredients first, and we need 1/3 of a cup of butter melted. I have melted this in my microwave, so I'm going to pop that in first. There we are. And into this, I'm going to break 2 eggs. Give them a little whisk. And now I'm going to measure up a cup of milk, and I'm going to be using my new measuring cups here that Ginger sent me. Thank you, my friend. The whole cup. Here we go. Right, okay, so what is in the packet mix? Just out of interest. So we've got the unbleached flour. bam. Little bit of sugar, little bit of salt, baking soda, and cornmeal. That's what I was after. So it's the cornmeal in here. Some buttermilk, soybean oil, and natural flavours. Okay. So. Struggling with the packet mix there. In we pop, gents. There we go. I have just put my 8-inch skillet to preheat on my hob, and I've greased that with some butter. So hopefully that'll be ready to go once I've finished mixing. So I don't want to overmix this, just until everything is, there we go, nice and mixed in. Just make sure there's no flour bubbles at the bottom. Fabulous. What do we think, guys? Can't really go wrong with a packet mix, can we? I can't mess it up. Right, and I'm going to pour this into my skillet. Okay. Oh, I could do with something to scrape it down. Here we are. So this is going into my preheated skillet. Get all of that mix in there. Fabulous. Right. It's going in the oven. Wish me luck. Okay, everybody, it's time. Let's get these out. Oh my gosh, it's risen. Oh yeah. Woof. Hot, hot. Oh my gosh. It looks amazing. Can you see this? Oh, it smells delicious. I can't wait to try this. Now I'm going to leave it to cool ever so slightly, just so I'm not cutting into it like prematurely. And I don't want to ruin the texture. It's got a lovely bounce to it. Okay, everybody, what do you think? So it was definitely ready to eat earlier, but like I say, I wanted to really let it stew to break up those potatoes there. Yes, and we've still got some whole potatoes, as you can see. Fine one. They have broken up lovely, but there are still, some biggish potatoes in there. Now, I need to add my final ingredient, which is the teaspoon of the apple cider vinegar. Here we go. Give that a mix through. Okay. Oh my gosh, that smells so tasty. So I'm curious as to what the vinegar brings to this. So I tried a little earlier and it was absolutely amazing. Just the right stew, just the right dish that you need on a cold autumn day. So here we are with the addition of the vinegar. Here we are. Can you see that there? Oh, without tipping it out of my bowl. Now, I've got one of the butter beans to try as well. So I was a little bit confused. At one point in this recipe, it referred to the beans as lima beans, and then further down, it was butter beans, and I thought I'd got the wrong thing. They're the same thing. Is that right, guys? So Mr. Google tells me they are the same thing. So, oh, that bowl is getting quite hot now. I'm going to try one of the beans. And every spoonful here is going to contain some of the chicken or the pulled pork. It's completely disintegrated. So, very, very hot. I was a little concerned about having beans in a stew. I've never had a stew with beans in before, and it's so soft. It's just fallen apart in my mouth, which is nice. I was a bit concerned that maybe the beans were going to be a bit too tough, and the addition of the sweet corn gives it that nice, zesty kind of sweet kick. So tasty. I haven't seen any potato in this bowl, so I think a lot of it's broken up, so it probably didn't need the stew time that I gave it. It's thickened, considerably, but I've had to add water to that to compensate for it. So in hindsight, it didn't need to be stewed any longer. It was perfectly fine an hour and a half ago. But oh my gosh, it's fantastic. Right, I'm going to try it with a piece of my cornbread. Right, okay, what am I going to cut this with? Let's cut a piece off just here. I'm not used to cutting things from a skillet, so I'm not really sure what the best way to cut this is. It needed more butter. I should have put more butter in to grease it. I think it is just catching on the side slightly. This might look a bit rough. Excuse my cutting skills. Say a bit rough. It's going to look pretty rough. There we go. Oh my gosh. Look at this, guys. It smells very cakey, kind of very spongy. Right. You tell me I need to put butter on this. Okay, we've got butter here. So I imagine, ooh, too thick butter. There we go. I don't mind the butter being too thick. Never going to complain about too much butter. Right, okay. Going to try this. Still quite hot. Oh my God. That's like a big warm hug on a winter's day. That is so tasty. I would describe this as a slightly coarser texture, a slightly corny, savoury cake. It resembles cake a lot. But the crumb is a little bit coarser. I don't know whether that's because of the cornmeal. But it's sweet, but I'd say it's more savoury than sweet, but at the same time, there is a sweetness there, which is really, really lovely. I'm going to have to try some with my Brunswick stew. So without making too much of a mess everywhere, I'll try one of the other corners. It's falling apart. Very crumbly. I was going to dip it, but I think this corner might fall apart in my stew. There are worse problems. Try and dip it. Oh my gosh. Get the butter there. We're going to create like this little mouthful here, because the combination of that cornbread with that barbecue-based stew is just out of this world. It's warming, it's comforting. And on a day like this, it's just definitely what I need. So big, mega spoonful here. Oh my gosh. The cornbread's amazing. I like it on its own. Oh my gosh. And when the butter melts, it's delicious. Oh, I don't know if you can hear the hail. But for me, it's when it's dipped in this gorgeous, gorgeous stew. How have I never heard of this up until now? It's beautiful. It's so, so tasty. For any of our viewers in the UK, if you have not heard of this, just jump straight into this recipe. It's absolutely fantastic. It's so, so tasty. If you excuse me, I'm going to eat the rest of my cornbread with this. I can't put it down. It's delicious. Beautiful. All right, guys. I've had to pull myself away from finishing my bowl of Brunswick stew to say goodbye. So I will return to this in a second. Absolutely delicious. Beautiful, beautiful. So I'm not the biggest fan of like big chunks of potato in a stew. I like them a little bit more broken up. So that was just more of a preference thing, but really didn't need to stew that long. It's quite convenient to be able to have a stew that doesn't need hours and hours and hours on the hob. So yes, fantastic, fabulous. I'm still yet to try a recipe that I don't like, guys. It's they're all so delicious. They're yummy. Anyway, guys, this might be one of my last cooking videos for a week or so. So thank you for cooking along with me, for watching along at home. Rate my Brunswick stew. What do you reckon, guys? So Coach John, you tell me that this is it's a recipe from Alabama and Georgia. So I'm sure there's a lot of history there. If there is an unusual history behind this stew, let me know, guys. But as a standalone recipe, it's fabulous. Fortunately, I've made a huge batch, so I'm going to be freezing this. I believe it freezes well, so this will keep me happy for many weeks. Anyway, thanks again for cooking along with me, guys. Take care of yourselves for now, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye!